two alpha teams of the Premier League, where Manchester City hosted Arsenal, the Gunners, and Eric Haaland has just equaled the fastest 100 goals scoring spree of Cristiano Ronaldo. What a pulsating moment that is. Dean Henderson of Crystal Palace had denied Manchester United of a single goal. That was a total 15 shots on target by Manchester United, and they hadn't succeeded. What? That is Henderson going to be transferred to Manchester United? Is that the rumor true? I don't think so. Leverkusen are back to their late comebacks like the previous season, and Victor Boniface has just taken that edge, winning by a one-goal margin, and the clutch moments for Xavi Alonso seems to be back in this season. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode with FC Ramsay and the weekend match days wrap up. The all total comprising of the matches which had happened the previous nights, where Juventus were facing Napoli at their home ground of Allianz Stadium. But talking about Antonio Conte, who is back in the city of Turin against Thiago Motta's Juventus. The performance of Yildiz from Juventus, the undergraduate of Bayern Munchen, Yildiz was the best player of Juventus on this day. Talking of Bremer with his defensive skills, he was too good, but Conte was just sustained with a draw, and neither of the two teams were able to score despite the lacks of Lukaku and Vlahovic, Gonzalez, Koopmanius, McTominay, Kvaratskhelia. How do you pronounce that? Kvaratskhelia? I don't know that. Kvaratskhelia? I don't know that. That was all of Antonio Conte against Thiago Motta. The Serie A table which stands high is that Torino is at the top of the table. Then comes Napoli, Udinese, Juventus, Empoli, and Inter Milan are at the sixth position. They have played 5 games, 2 draws, 2 wins, and just a single loss. So Serie A table is also taking a turmoil. Talking next about the La Liga, where the Giants Real Madrid under Ancelotti were playing at Santiago Bernabeu against Espanyol, but the likes of Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., the pairing of these two are not looking that good as the comparison of Arda Güler, Bellingham, Rodrigo, or Endrick. That fresh kid, Endrick, who has traveled just 4,000 nautical miles and he is into the Santiago Bernabeu, is doing excellence. But when do we notice the magical dribbles of Mbappe from those left wings? So Ancelotti, what he has in store for these two big players, I don't know that. But yes, Mbappe, despite being a sole penalty taker in the in the La Liga, is just counting up his goals like that only. But we need to see a more of him. And Ancelotti really does need to make some sacrifices in the first half at least for the pairing of Vinicius Jr. or Mbappe. So what is in store for him? I don't know that. Time will definitely tell it. But the table which shows that FC Barcelona under Hansi Flick are 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. They have just won 6 out of 6 games. Hansi Flick is really showing his temperament, his total football concept from the Bundesliga, and the German douche Mister is doing his job. And Ancelotti is just back in the second position, a deficit of 4 points. That is definitely going to count at the end of the season. In the next aspect, Barcelona had a convincing win against Villarreal, where Lewandowski had two and Rafinha netted twice with Torre once. And that was a good, convincing track of Barcelona, despite getting the first setback in the opening of the Champions League, their defeat. And this performance of a 5-1 victory against Villarreal will definitely heal up those moments. So that was all about La Liga. Talking next about the Bundesliga, where Stuttgart, they had just demolished Dortmund at their MHP Arena, the home ground of Stuttgart, where Dennis Undav netted twice in the fourth minute and the 98th minute, and there were three more goals. Dortmund under Nuri Sahin. I mean, such a talented manager, they are not giving that outcome. Was it the outcome of the long season? They are playing the Champions League as well as the Bundesliga in the same week. Was that the result of it? Yes, definitely. Some players are just complaining about the long season and playing 60 to 65 matches in 52 weeks. I mean, in a year, so many matches, players getting injuries, and managers are not being able to make those comebacks at the right moment. So it is really a great concern. And Dortmund having that defeat to Stuttgart, and on the other hand, Leverkusen getting those clutch moments, Witt scoring in the fourth minute, Jonathan Tah, Hincap, and Boniface, the edge moment in those matches has really created Leverkusen those comeback win moments like the previous season. And definitely Xabi Alonso is going to build up with this formation. But with the transfers of Mukele, Garcia, and Terrier only for this season, and the sacrifice of few elite players in the winter season, what has Leverkusen fans in store after this winter season? As the Bundesliga table here stands, with Bayern Munich standing tall with 4 wins out of 4 games, and Leverkusen are with 3 wins and a loss, with Leipzig are in that second position. Freiburg, Frankfurt, and Leipzig are on the respective third and fourth positions. So this was all about Bundesliga, but the most definite moment of that was that Manchester United couldn't score a goal against Crystal Palace, where at the Selhurst Park, Palace were playing home against United, and Ten Hag had those moments despite the performance of Rashford in the previous match. He was dropped, and Garnacho was played at the left wing with Zirkzee and Fernandes. A total of 15 shots on target by the Manchester United players, and a performance from Onana. I mean, the Glasner of Crystal Palace, the manager of Crystal Palace, with playing Mateta as the forward and Eze and Nekitia with the SS players. Eze had many chances to score against United. This was a game where anything could have happened, but 67% possession of United couldn't just give them a goal. So what has Eric Ten Hag doing in this game is quite undefinite, because the presence of Eriksson and Manu at the midfield, and Delict and Martinez at the centre backs. He has Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, and Casemiro, as well as Mason Mount and Anthony in the bench, despite the different types of substitutions made of Rasmus Holland, Ugarte, and Rashford. So Ten Hag couldn't manage a win with Crystal Palace, and the Premier League table is just standing with City at the top, and comes second the Liverpool, then the Aston Villa, and fourth comes Arsenal with a draw against City. This was the moment where we had everything, the Premier League moment of this week, where Manchester City hosted the Gunners at their own home ground, Etihad, where Arsenal had a red card. But just have a look at the startup of the lineups from Arsenal and Manchester City. The stats which says over here is that there was Saka at the right wings as usual. They have Sterling, Timber at the right backs, Saliba and Gabriel. They were playing at the centre backs, but the presence of Gabriel in the first goal, just have a look at it. This is the moment where Walker gives a pass to their own Savino, the fresh signing of this season. Savino had made that move into the center parts where Silva was present. Silva tried to just divert towards the right wings, but what was Partey and Gabriel doing there? Whom was Partey just blocking it, and whom was Gabriel just defending against? So that was the moment, and Haaland in between Saliba and Gabriel had just empty space. Both Saliba and Gabriel and Timber, there were four gunners at the center back, whereas only Haaland and Savino along with Bernardo Silva. So Arsenal were not even outnumbered, but this type of defensive errors had just given Manchester United the lead. So that lead was just taken by Eric Haaland. So let's have a look at these stats over here. The mistakes which expecting goals for Manchester City were 2.18, but that was after the red card shown to Trossard. The performance of Eric Haaland in the first 9 minutes were just good enough, and that comeback from Savino from the right wings was just a moment. But after that, Ricardo Calafiori, the new signing of Arsenal, too had that show. Which what a great classic shot! I mean that swing in the air from the left foot and scoring it to the just right corner, the far post. I mean, there was no movement from Ederson to save it. Then comes the yellow card of Leonardo Trossard getting their first card. And in the just 6 minutes of first half's added time, Gabriel had scored for Arsenal. That header and that cross was completely magnificent. But after that, Thomas Partey got the first yellow card, and Leonardo Trossard on the verge of completion of the first half gets the second yellow card, and that was a sent off to him. So Arsenal, the Gunners, were down to only 10 men. In the second half, what made Arteta the substitution of Ben White in place of Bukayo Saka, why he confided with Ben White. There were moments where Saka could have gone along with the likes of the left wing of Martinelli, but Martinelli and Saka, and why he didn't just stick to Kai Havertz, the unorthodox number 7 or the number 9 who is playing as the striker. I mean, if Havertz would have been sacrificed and there would have been Saka and Martinelli in the attacks and bringing in Ben White in place of Havertz, that would have just yielded. But the strategy of Mikel Arteta over here, which just shows that the gameplay of Simeone Inzaghi, Milan's gameplay against Manchester City was quite evident in this game also, because Arsenal down to 10 men, they were just confined to their defense. But the defensive capabilities where City were just thrashing and they were just bombarding shots at the goal. The performance of Samuel Raya in the second half was quite confident and he just denied any goals. But the late goal scoring of that John Stones moment which made the equalizer. So Mikel Arteta must be happy about it. And the fact stands tall here over here that Arsenal are the Gunners are under Mikel Arteta unbeaten against City. In the previous 3 meetings, they had one win and two draws. And in the previous 4 meetings, they had a win also in the Community Shield. So that is all about the Premier League, where Manchester City they are having a decent, good performance under Guardiola. But Guardiola is definitely cooking up with the formations because he hasn't made any transformation in Phil Foden. The injuries of Kevin De Bruyne, Nathan Ake, and Oscar Bob, but Phil Foden is not to be seen in the first half lineup of Manchester City. Guardiola has stuck to only Gundogan and Silva in the midfield. So what is that Guardiola is cooking up? Who will be the league winners at the end? Who will get that silverware? It is all which time will definitely tell. And thank you guys for your support in the Instagram and the Facebook videos which you have shown. And yes, in YouTube also do give us a like. We have the Discord links also given in the comment section. So that's all for today. Have a good day, and yes, definitely do give a like, do share, and do subscribe. Bye bye.